Hi everyone, and welcome to the first installment of a brand new series that we are calling From Fridge. Are you serious?
To table. From fridge to table.
That was the first line! From fridge to table. Fare has been a huge part of our food allergy journey, and we are honored to give back by appearing on LTC. I'm Leia.
And I'm Rachel.
We are your mother-daughter duo hosts for the next 6 weeks. Before we get started, a little backstory about us.
So as a food allergy family, especially during the early years of diagnosis, we felt excluded from so much, particularly during holiday time. The recipes that I created for holiday survival and inclusiveness have become the cornerstone of our mother-daughter duo cooking show, YouTube sensation, Because I Said So.
When my college classes went online, we used the quarantine time to not only teach me how to cook, but to start a YouTube cooking channel to help other kids in similar situations. It's called Because I Said So, Cooking for College. Check it out, check it out. We were excited to get started, but nervous that our food allergy life would make viewers turn away. The exact opposite happened. A few months later, we now cater to a broad demographic, most of the time with allergy-friendly requests.
It's actually become quite overwhelming,
But
in a good way. Oh my God.
Jinx!
Over the next 6 weeks, we're going to be bringing to you some of these delicious, simple recipes for you to try. But today, we're going to be focusing on the Jewish holiday of Passover. Don't worry, you can make this recipe even if you don't celebrate the holiday. So what are we waiting for?
Let's get baking!
And
We're back!
we're back in our kitchen live. You never know what can happen live.
All unscripted, baby. Let's go.
That's just what it's all about. So anyone who has food allergies and celebrates Passover knows how frustrating it can be because the hallmarks of Passover cooking and baking are eggs, walnuts, almonds, and if you're gluten sensitive or allergic, matzo meal and cake meal. So we decided to do a riff on an iconic Passover dessert, the macaroon. Has all kinds of different layers. It does use coconut, but it is gluten, peanut, tree nut, dairy, egg, soy, fish, shellfish, and sesame friendly.
As always, please use your discretion and judgment. Everyone's food allergies are different.
Yes.
All right, what's the recipe called?
It is called My Coconut Bliss Apricot Bars.
And it's so
You're
good!
gonna love it.
Let's get baking.
All right, so the first thing we're going to do is we're going to make a quick shortbread layer. This does include coconut oil and it does include coconut flour, which you can find kosher for Passover coconut flour now. All righty then. We are going to start off with 1 cup of coconut flour. Now, coconut flour is very powdery. Coconut flour zoops up anything you put into it. So it's really good for this recipe, but you can't really do it on a 1 per cup basis for other things unless you mix it with different types of flour. Okay.
What's next?
I don't know. We are going to put in a 1/3 cup of coconut oil. So here's a little tip about coconut.
It's melted.
A little tip about coconut oil. Coconut oil at room temperature is a solid. So when you measure out a 1/3 cup, you have to melt it first and then pour it back to make sure that you're getting an accurate reading. Now, you can use a different oil if you choose. The coconut oil kind of gives it the whole macaroon type taste.
And it smells good.
It does. We're going to put in 3 tablespoons of honey. If you want to make this completely vegan, you can swap out the honey for maple syrup, or if you just like maple syrup, not a problem.
Oh, it's
Keep
pretty
it going.
ribbons.
You may want to scoop it out a little bit.
I was just liking watching the ribbons.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
Yes, it's all good.
Stop.
This is why it takes us so long, because we're ribbon watching. Okay, keep it coming. While she's doing that, I'm going to put in 1/2 teaspoon of vanilla extract and 1/4 teaspoon of maple extract. Totally optional. You don't have to use it, but I think it adds definitely to the shortbread. Okay.
It's taking so long to come
We're
out.
going to start mixing this up before it solidifies.
Coming out.
All right. I think we're good. I think we're good. Okay. Well, I've washed the honey off my hands.
I wasn't even in the frame. Okay.
I've washed the honey off my hands. All right. So we're just going to take a look so you can see what the shortbread
Cooking cam
layer looks for. We've got our shortbread cam.
Editing, can we get a little split screen on this?
Actually, you want it to be stiff. If your dough is too liquidy. You may want to sprinkle in a little bit more coconut flour. Now I put 2 pieces of parchment paper in an 8x8 glass pan. If you are using an aluminum pan, totally fine, but you're probably going to leave it in the oven for less time because since it takes shorter for aluminum, something in an aluminum pan versus a glass pan to bake. Okay, so it's nice and stiff, and really, you're just going to get in there and you're going to press it down. Make sure you hit all those corners. Turn it. And that's really it.
All right.
Okay, so we have...
Can you wait for me to get back in frame? Okay.
It's just so much easier to do it without you. Then I can take over the cooking show and it's no longer a duo. Okay, so we have, as you can see... All right, so I poked a few holes. We're going to put it in a 350-degree oven, and we're going to let it cook in there for about 12 to 15 minutes. I like it extra crispy, so if you want to keep it in there just a little bit extra, that's totally fine, and we'll see what it looks like when it comes out. So while your shortbread layer is cooking, we're actually going to take care of the filling now. And this is a fresh apricot filling. Now, if you don't want to use fresh apricots, that's totally fine. You can use apricot jam, or if you want to choose a different flavor, that's fine. But I really suggest that you try it with the apricots because
Can I have one?
it is so good. So this is about 3/4 of a can of apricots. And it has been soaked in hot water just to get the apricots nice and mushy.
Oh, really good.
Or soft. Nicer way of saying it.
It's really good.
All right, stop eating them. Stop eating them. I can't work like this. Stop eating them.
They're good.
Oh my God, we're not going to have enough for the recipe. 1 tablespoon of shredded coconut. Now this is plain shredded, unsweetened coconut. Tablespoon of maple syrup. Very nice. All right, so now I just want you to pulse it a little bit. Start mixing up those ingredients.
Fun fact, didn't know how to use a food processor until we started doing this.
See, there is a purpose for everything. So you want the apricots to be nice and smooth, almost like a spreadable paste. All right, now just kind of keep it on. And we're just gonna pour in like 1 to 2 tablespoons of water. Hope you can see it, it's becoming nice and spreadable.
It just looks like orange, it just looks like orange jelly if you can't see it. All right.
The shortbread has cooled. It should be a nice golden color. Ours is a little on the brown side because we like it extra crispy. Again, if you are using a glass Pyrex, then you may have to keep it in there a little bit longer than the 12 to 15
just to attain that level of crisp.
This is our apricot spread. We're going to get a spoon.
Just look at that beautiful apricot jelly.
It's actually not as wet as jelly. It's more like a paste, actually.
Okay.
So you're going to start scooping it, and we're just going to evenly spread it all across the shortbread. You may not need all of it. Actually, what I would suggest is you take a few of the dollops and just put it in different areas so that you don't break the shortbread. All right, keep going, and it really depends.
I've got to show the viewers.
It really depends on your level of how much apricot you like. It actually adds a really nice tart flavor, and we're going to be covering it with a chocolate shell. So now you have your nice even layer of apricot, and the next thing we're going to do is I melted half a cup of chocolate chips with a half a tablespoon of coconut oil.
Oh my God.
You want these nice dreamy ribbons.
Stop, I just eat that.
And we're literally just going to pour it over the whole thing. You want to do it?
Yeah, I do.
Okay, not so high up.
I want to show them how it looks. I want to show them how it looks.
And then your beautiful white apron will just be splattered.
What is an apron if not to get messy?
All right, so now here's the thing about melted chocolate. You want to put it in the microwave for 30-second increments. Don't be tempted to put it in for like a minute and a half at one time. It will burn. and it's just gonna be chalky and disgusting. Once it hits the apricot, everything is nice and cool, you wanna start spreading it because coconut activates the chocolate and it becomes a chocolate shell literally as soon as it starts hitting room temperature.
We're just doing a little cooking cam action here to show you that nice spreaded chocolate over the apricot and the shortbread. Putting it in the freezer.
The moment of truth.
30 minutes later.
All right, so we kept it in the freezer for about 20 minutes. You can keep it in a little bit longer, but if you do, the chocolate tends to crack when you cut it. So this is what it looks like in the pan.
Amazing.
And this is why we put it in parchment paper, especially those two sides of parchment paper, because then you can just lift it out
and cut it up
and slice it up.
All right.
Everything held its shape really nicely. I warmed up this knife just by running it through a little hot water so that the chocolate here won't crack. You're going to cut down. It looks so good. Oh my God, it's perfect.
What would a cooking channel be without any taste testing?
And be careful because
that chocolate slides
while the chocolate is completely frozen, the apricot doesn't freeze hard, so it kind of slides a little bit, so you need to be careful when you're cutting.
Oh my God, my mouth is like that.
All right, here we go. Here, I'll break off a little piece. I'm going to cut that in half.
Oh my God, the suspense is killing me. Okay, I'm ready.
It's like a little explosion in your mouth. A little Passover explosion. Oh, really good. You've got the shortbread cookie, the tang of the apricot, very soft. And then you have that chocolate crackle on top. Listen,
that's so good.
Save the saltwater tears for the Seder. You won't have any tears anymore.
That was a good tagline.
I know, right? With food allergies and cooking on Passover.
And if you don't cook on Passover, then this is just a really good Friday night treat. Or Thursday, Wednesday, any night. So, from us to you, thank you for joining us on our first ever From Fridge to Table. We will see you soon for some more delicious recipes.
Take care.